Impressive as it is, does it have any impact on classic media?
Does it have any effort or impact on classic media? I think it does, by evidence. The program that we just ran at South by Southwest, there were more than 270 articles in traditional media that were, or TV placements or whatever else, covering what we were doing at the show. So if you tell a compelling story and what you're doing is interesting, traditional media is going to cover it. So yes, it does have an impact. And again, for advertising age, which has traditionally not liked us and has been very critical of just about all of our marketing efforts, to proclaim us the big winner at South by Southwest, I think you can definitely see an impact on the traditional media.
Why did we see those efforts only in the US and not in Europe? You had the problems also in different European countries.
We did, and what my European colleagues have done in GM Europe, what they've done well is make their content social. What they've not done to as much effect is go out and join the community. If you go to the GM Europe website or the Opel website at this point, everything that's up there from press release, there's embeddable video, there's a link to a Twitter feed, there's a link to they've done everything they possibly can to allow an audience to share that content or introduce it into the social networks. We're not quite there yet though on joining the communities themselves. I'm hoping to accomplish this in 10.
Questions from the audience?
Question about the conversation with 5 people. Did you answer every single tweet, every single Facebook reply, or were you selective? And the other question, second question, is
we answer every tweet or every Facebook post. We were selective. I mean, we try to answer as much as you possibly could. There are occasionally ones where you just look at it and go, this person's not interested in the conversation. They're not even being constructive about what they're saying. There are 12 other constructive criticisms over here. I'm not going to engage this one because I can have a real conversation with these other 12. So, there were probably 1 or 2 out of every 10 that we ignored. However, I will tell you that for every positive one, when somebody would come on and say, hey guys, hang in there, or GM rocks, or whatever, you acknowledge every one of those, even if it doesn't seem to be intending to be a positive, a long-term conversation. The second question was our CEO. To be completely candid, when I've been asked before all of our changes, if I thought that it was imperative that CEOs blog or CEOs be involved in the social web, I've always said I don't think it's as important that they be personally involved as it is that they support the effort and they understand that it needs to happen. Because if you put a CEO who doesn't write well or doesn't have patience for being questioned out into the social web, it's not going to work. It's going to backfire. Our current CEO is really good at one-on-one interaction. I mean, he's very charming. He's got one of those overwhelming personalities. And if you get into a room one-on-one with him, he will have you buying a car before it's over. It's one of those personalities. It does not translate to the web. I've done one web chat with him. He gives one-word answers to very long questions that people do. I'm just going, we don't gain anything from you being out here. As long as you keep supporting me doing this and supporting the team that I have in place, that's all I can ask for. So he's not out. I don't think he needs to be. I don't think that the way they've handled it has been particularly effective. But from a communications and marketing standpoint, I think they were a bit handcuffed. I don't think they were being allowed to really be active. And frankly, because I don't think their engineers really know exactly what's going wrong just yet, I can understand some of the reticence. If I'm going to tell you I've got to go out and say something, I'm going to say X. And then we think right now, to the best of our knowledge, that X is the right thing, but 2 weeks later we found out X was wrong. Well, geez, could have just made the problem worse. So I understand why they're being quiet, but I think had it been me, I would have been saying, look, let me at least go out and just acknowledge people that are raising questions or are asking us things. And the answer of I don't know the answer to that is better than no answer at all. And I think that they would have been better off going and doing something like that. There are 2 questions there. The first on encouraging our employees. We have a 45-minute. In the intranet site, here's the 45-minute basics 101 of social media. Here are the channels, here are the tools, and so on. After you finish that, then here's the policy. Here's what you're allowed to do. Here's what will get you in trouble. And then most importantly, after you go through those 2 things, here's a list of the 5 or 6 people who have this job responsibility. If you have any questions, you can contact me. You can contact anybody on my team. We'll try to help you get involved if you want to get involved. Or if you're already out there and you find yourself in trouble, we can try to help you maybe dig out of this a little bit. And I'm sorry, can you remind me of the second half of the question?
The second one was, where is your position in this diagram?
Okay. My position is within communications. I'm a PR guy. I was a speechwriter before all this Web 2.0 stuff came along. And I like where I sit. My ideal situation, however, would be some sort of an amalgam or a mix that doesn't sit within communications, doesn't sit within marketing, but actually sits sort of straddling both. I think you need to have both groups involved. The marketing people always tell you in any organization, look, this is consumer facing, therefore it's us. The communications people always tell you, this is a conversation, this is what we've always done with reporters, this belongs to us. The truth of the matter is, it belongs to both. It belongs to all of you, because consumers don't draw a distinction between whether something came from Chevy marketing or Chevy PR. To them, it's all Chevy. So for us to draw that distinction is artificial and just handcuffs us, I think.